All right, we're here with episode 5 of The City is the End. Yay, friends.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
I believe
Combat.
Yeah, I believe we were about to strike a combat, and I don't want to take up too much time at the beginning because I have to end a little early today cuz I got to run off to get on a plane. So take us away, Bud Prince.
So do you want to do a recap? Do you remember what happened last time, anyone?
We escaped. We left the Cosmos District after there being a meeting with a terrifying entity from beyond. And then made our way into a Carnamance district, not being able to see what the tile was until we went into it. And we ran across some horrible skull leg guys.
Yep, skulls. And you ate some soup and went to a garden and planted a seed.
That too. We did plant the seed. Yes.
Yes.
So you'll have to remember where that is on your own, I'm afraid. I probably should have mentioned that you won't be able to recognize the tile until you get 3 landmarks in the tile or whatever. So finding that garden again might be a bit of a challenge down the road, but you did plant a seed there.
That's all right.
And that's about it, basically.
We can go back. Hopefully.
Yeah, you'll find it again. So let's everyone look over your gear and check your status of wounds and peril and so on. I think you're all fresh.
I think
because
we're
we
okay.
rested in the garden.
Yeah. And you scored a critical on your survival test, so you could rest to unhindered.
Yes.
So you're all the way rested, which normally isn't the case when you rest in the city.
Yeah, you just get imperiled.
Yeah. So I've drawn a crude map of first of all,
I'm sorry. What do you mean crude? This is beautiful.
So we have 4 fortune points. I've reset them.
Okay.
Remember what fortune points do. Look over your gear, because this is a fight. So now you actually
we're
need
in
to know
the
these
shit.
Things, Yeah. Also, there's a green on this map. There's a green rectangle, and that's the deployment zone. I'm calling it. Right? This is a special mechanic for fights where you're not surprised, but like you're not. Like you didn't have time to approach this fight beforehand. So you won't know where the enemies are gonna be. Like they're on the map on the GM layer, and I'll make them appear once you've deployed because you're sort of at a disadvantage. So anywhere in that green rectangle you can put yourselves.
It's like Total War, exactly. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be right here. There we go. I've put myself in the
myself.
I'm incredibly slow, so I should probably be.
I was thinking like I'll be able to catch up with you if I stand way back here, and I don't want to get hit. I really don't want to get hit by anything because I have brawn.
This is the thing where
3.
They appear over here.
Appear like
Yeah.
Yes, they could appear at the bottom.
They might. If they do, then that's how it is.
So
if they do, you're first in the initiative order. So
that's true.
Well, you claim to be first, at least,
until the giant skulls.
No.
Oh shit!
So
they're faster.
What happened here is basically the reason they caught you sort of off guard is that they came around. You were heading down the street in your lost travels, and they essentially came from another street across, around the corner, and they spotted you and you spotted them. So that's what happened. That's the start for this fight. And you can see the initiatives I rolled are the last 2 rolls there. So that's, for purposes of, honesty, those last 2 rolls. All the other rolls were me messing around with dice because I found this dice roller on the side there. And I was like, what does this button do? And I clicked a bunch of dice rolling. So but the last 2 ones are the initiative for this.
To also just mention, because I should have mentioned this when we were doing the recap, we're in a district that's like all meat and gross
meat and meat byproducts.
Well, that's the usual like aspect of Carnamance districts, but this one is more like a geometric shaped
it's like factory abattoir district, you said.
Yeah, this one is different than what you'd expect from a Carnamancy district. So like, there's something different about this place.
Okay, all right.
It's not made of meat. It's making meat.
It's like a question.
And this one is like geometric, long roads, and like the buildings have these kind of balconies that look like spectator balconies, sort of.
Okay.
and there's nothing much else. It's sort of like it's kind of like a canal, like basin almost. It's sort of plain stone uh, construction, and no like there's no street lamps. They hang down from the balconies instead of being on the floor, kind of thing. Um, and they're like no features. Like there's no sidewalk here. Those blue things on the sides there, those
Oh
are
god,
doors.
this isn't like a sluice gate rivers of blood.
I mean, it might
situation,
be.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
no.
just to describe this map particularly, the blue things are doors. Those red things on the side there, those are like alleys that you can sort of see into. So
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not blocked off. You can go down those. And otherwise the red stuff is street stuff like building
Gotcha.
corners. And then of course there are these two big skulls, and let's start combat. So
yeah.
the skulls, as I described them, were like skulls in the sense that they were made of bone and had nose holes and eye holes and mouths, but they're not really human shaped skulls or person shaped, I should say. They're strangely sort of oblong, like very xenomorphy, kind of like weirdly shaped skulls basically. And they have giant mouths and little meat legs. Like their legs are disproportionate to their size and like sort of below them, and they're basically fleshless muscle legs, if you can imagine that.
Yeah, you couldn't see it, but I was wincing.
And the smell these things give off is quite delicious. You wouldn't expect it to, but they smell kind of like
Delicious in what
something.
sense?
Something your body can tell when something's edible. That is giving you that sense when you
So
smell.
like, they
you smell
smell
this,
the Maillard reaction.
Ah,
that nice, like
yes.
Yeah,
browning meat smell.
It's like, yeah, that smells good. Like you
Oh,
almost
no.
like, oh, I feel like eating that. That could be quite tasty kind of smell. And that's the description of the skulls. Now,
Wow.
skull with legs number 2, as you can see it being called there, it goes first.
We can't see the names.
Oh, how do I do that?
Show
Advanced?
nameplate, and you have to say edit so players can see.
I can't actually see Etienne's name either. I can see Urtica's name, but not Etienne's.
Weird, because nameplate is clicked. Tooltip, no. Well, anyway,
It's fine. It doesn't matter. There's
yeah, it
skulls.
doesn't matter.
We got you.
Yeah.
It's this one. This is skull with leg number 2. Now,
we can tell which one it is by mousing over them in the turn order. It's very
the brown the brown. Why did I say brown? The thing you should all have open is the actions in combat compendium handout thingy.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I've got the book open in front of me.
Actions in combat. I have it open.
Types of actions, and then that has a list of all the stuff you can do. So keep that in mind as we're going forward.
All right.
So this skull is going to charge, which is the movement action that doubles your movement.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the classic ask. How do you do this measuring thing? It's Q, isn't it?
I never learned because I never did it a
It
single time.
Or it was Q at the very
Yeah, it's
end.
working.
You can
It's working
just
now.
hold
Yeah,
the little. There's a
sorry.
circle with the ruler in it on the left-hand side on the
Yeah.
bar. You can just click that and then use it.
15 squares to get to Urtica.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
That's a charge. So double their movement, and their movement is very high.
Apparently.
I won't tell you what it is, but that's their movement.
I
And
mean,
the
they're
first
just
attack-
skulls with legs. You'd hope they'd move faster. They'd be pretty fucked. Oh.
And you are hit.
Oh.
Would you like to parry?
Yes. Do
Please
I have
roll
my shield
simple
out?
martial melee. Say that again.
Do I have my shield out? Was there enough time to?
We were
if you want to have your shield out, I'll let you have your shield out.
we were talking about you walking around with it out though. So I would like last session.
I'll let you. That I don't mind because the rules for getting action weapons and stuff ready in Zweihander are quite. So you successfully parry. And actually,
Nice.
I should have told you it's a +10 to parry these because they're slow.
Well, makes
But
it.
you succeed either way. So you knock off one of your action points because it does cost you an action point. And that is the turn of that first skull. Now, skulls with legs number 2, or rather number 1, but going second. does very much the same thing. Towards Etienne.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
Etienne does not have a shield. Etienne just has his axe held up in front of him in both hands.
Yes. Would you like to parry that 29?
I would. I would very much like to
Please
parry.
roll simple melee. Plus 10. Plus 10.
Plus 10. Simple melee. Plus 10. Ooh, a crit success.
critical.
So that does not cost you an AP. If you crit
Oh,
on a
nice.
parry,
Oh, nice.
you get a free parry, basically. So that's their turn. Now it is Elora's turn.
Alora's turn. All right, Alora is going to move using her movement to this skull, and then dirk action with her one good hand to try and attack it. That's the plan. Any modifiers? No modifiers. I do not hit it.
That is a miss, yes. It's a shame, because the damage would have been quite high.
I think
now, these things...
I think Alora is panicking just a little, you know.
Wow, that 666.
Yeah, for bookkeeping purposes, these things can't parry. So just use the damage that you roll on the auto roller, whereas normally we would ask if we need to parry or whatever, right?
Also, yeah, holy shit, that 666, what?
So it is now Etienne's turn.
Yes. I think to start with, Etienne is going to. I think I'm just going to hit it with my axe.
Just axe it.
Okay, that's 1 AP.
Yeah.
Just the 1 AP attack.
Yes.
Okay.
You could improve your chances by aiming.
Oh, that's true, because I didn't use a point for my.
You have 3 AP.
Yes.
Currently,
yeah. Yes. In that case, I will take aim. Good call, Elf.
Taking aim is either 1 or 2 AP. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're taking 1 AP to aim and then 1 to attack, and then saving 1
Yes, and then
to
I will
parry.
save 1 for another parry if I need it.
Do we have
so yes.
3 AP? Okay.
When does AP refresh?
At the end, at the beginning of your next turn, basically. So, but if you used it beforehand, then you're out of it, basically. Like.
So it's like the round, basically.
Yeah, it's till your next. Basically, if you used it before your turn, in this case, right, you won't get it back
on your turn.
I think. I mean, maybe technically you should get it back, but you haven't had a turn yet. You know, I'm not sure now, but I'm ruling it that way.
Yeah, let's call it that for now. Yeah.
No, it makes sense to me that if you parry before your turn, you don't get the AP on your turn, basically.
Yeah. So I take aim. I get a plus 10. So I can add that to my situational modifier.
Yes.
Yes, just 10. Don't put plus.
No. And
I
hit.
You hit 10 damage. Okay, so. It is wounded. Now this looks, you've got a splitting maul, and this is a giant skull. So essentially, you lay into the top of this thing's head, and it just sort of chunks into it nicely. It is wounded.
Nice. Is it wounded to the point where it takes a
No, it is
injury?
lightly wounded.
Okay, cool.
So that is your turn, I suppose, and now it is Erlika's turn.
AP action points do refresh according to the combat rules when turn begins.
Okay, so I'll just say you have your full action point. If you hadn't acted in combat, I guess, yeah, I'll just give that to you. Fine.
Well, it's like it's one of those things where it's like if Ink now uses all the action points for Ertika to attack, there are no parries to come. Like Etienne cannot parry in the upcoming turns, right? If
Etienne used two.
If there wasn't yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is like you gotta.
There wasn't a turn. Like technically, you hadn't taken a turn yet, so I don't know where those AP. You basically get 3 free AP.
Yeah,
at the start
you get
of every fight
free reaction
if you
AP.
haven't acted. Yeah, we'll rule it that. I mean, that's what the rules say, so we're going with that.
Oh, that's cool.
There's when turn starts. So okay,
like that.
you'll have your 3 AP.
Vertical will hiss menacingly, and for a litany of hatred.
Okay, don't bother rolling, but you do spend the AP. These things are immune to litanies of hatred.
Okay.
Oh no!
Unintimidatable skulls.
Yep, they are not scared. You can describe how you do it. Feel free to narrate that. I'm just saving you the time of rolling because they are immune.
The skulls do not care for your hissing, Ertica.
I mean, I could, I'm giving that to you for free. Normally I would describe it like, oh, they're unaffected. And then you might
Whoa!
Smack.
There we go.
think, a 2. Well, that's not a crit. It's one off a crit if you had rolled a 1. And like I said, they can't parry. So please roll damage, which is combat bonus plus 1d6. Or 1d6 plus combat bonus, I suppose is the way it should be said.
My combat bonus is 5, so it's 1d6 plus 5.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, correct.
Unless your weapon says otherwise. So reroll another d6 because you rolled a 6.
Oh, the fury!
Great.
The fury! Oh,
So that's a total of 14.
well, that's still
Now this strike, obviously you're more skilled than Etienne because this is a martial melee weapon, and
Yeah.
clearly it shows that Erdica is stronger and more adept at melee because this thing
Ertica,
is
what
more
what
than-
weapon is
And I-
Ertica using? A sword,
Uh,
right?
Mortuary sword.
Yeah.
So
Adds
please roll
additional
1d6.
chaos die to determine whether you inflict injury upon effect.
Yes. So please roll 2d6. 6. Oh, that's 2 and 4. So it doesn't take any injuries, but that was you moved it to moderately wounded basically. So it would have taken an injury had you rolled a 6 on either of those dice.
Nice.
And now, in retaliation to this firm strike from Erdica, it shall munch you.
Significant damage, and then return to significant damage.
So it misses.
Oh,
It
good.
snaps at the air and fails to bite you. And I think that's its first AP. Its second AP is going to be a maneuver to move there.
Oh no.
Oh,
Next skull. Now, Elora is 1 and Etienne is 2, okay?
Sure.
It attacks Etienne, this next skull.
Hooray.
Again, these things smell delicious. So as they're fighting you, you've got this kind of nice, like a barbecue smell or like some kind of sauce smell. Like they've got this nice, delicious aroma, but it's kind of, they're still made of raw meat clearly. So there's
Yeah.
something slightly off to it, but it's like it's
Etienne
triggering your.
looks at the other two and says, "I don't know about you, but I find the way these guys smell very disturbing."
Stop smelling them and start killing them.
Would you
I'm
like to
trying.
parry? Would you like to parry that one?
I
that
would.
40
I would
that
very
hit you?
much like to parry. So parrying. Is it still the same +10 to?
Yep, it's a slow attack, so it basically gives you an extra bonus.
Ooh, I failed. to parry.
Oh
So-
no.
I remind you, fortune points are a thing. If you would like to reroll.
What does the rest of the party think?
I mean,
Should I avoid being hit, or should I take the hit to see
whatever-
how strong they are?
whatever your heart desires, Juicy.
All right. Well, I have no fear of death. So,
No fear, okay?
So I'm not going to. I'm going to take the damage to see how much damage they do. More damage.
Mistake!
What are you doing to me?
Oh, no!
I chose poorly.
Oh my god!
You are. It's still going.
Oh my god, what the fuck? 4?
Oh, so,
That's,
so only 26
What?
damage. Only
Plus
26
plus-
damage.
I'm gonna give you the +5.
31
Only 31
damage!
31. What
Only
is your
31
damage?
damage.
What is your damage threshold?
Oh,
Not 31.
So you
my
are immediately slain.
threshold
If
is
it-
7, then 13, then 19, then 25.
Oh
yes, so
no!
you are slain.
Oh shit!
Would you like to
Hell
spend
yes.
a fate point to?
I think so. Yes. I
Yeah,
think I will
yeah.
use that fate point and not
Okay,
die immediately.
So I think I'll let that negate any. Well, should we roll for injuries as well or not? That's a
how
question.
does it work? I've
Well,
never had to use a fate point before.
Technically, you're immediately slain. So I'm just gonna say that you're unconscious. Like we'll go with that because. Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
That
was,
is
very
definitely
unlikely.
not what I thought was gonna happen.
No, I have no
Terrifying.
regrets. Recommendation, folks. use the reroll.
Yeah,
if you
parry!
have them.
Parry! It turns out parry.
It's
okay.
less about.
So
it's
you
less
are
about the actual.
you spend your fate point. Essentially, this thing gets a hold of you, like it's got you in its jaw.
Did I?
Oh, did we just
Did
lose
we just
Buttprints?
lose Buttprints?
No. Hopefully they'll be
It
back
does seem
soon.
like they are lagging. Yes, we'll see if they return shortly.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now.
I lagged out, I guess.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We
Got-
got it.
so got
it gets
you.
me in its
Yeah.
jaw.
So yes, it gets you in its jaws and grabs onto you and does the roll of death kind of thing, like alligators do,
yeah.
like
Hell.
spins you
Yep.
around and it flings you off against some wall or something. Right, so you're unconscious because you spent your fate point. I think we'll have to figure out injuries and stuff maybe after the fight, right?
Mhm.
We'll,
Yes,
we'll
you are
find
more
out what
than welcome
happens to you
to.
afterwards. But essentially, you're out of the fight. So I'm sorry
Ah.
to kill you immediately.
No, it's all right.
But-
You can't do much against rolling 4 exploding fury dice.
Yes. So
That's what we
Elora.
call. That's what we call getting blood bowled.
Yes.
I'm taking Etienne off the
I
tracker.
guess I fight the skull that mad slashing fury to try and get this skull off of Etienne. Let's see.
So we'll say Etienne got thrown like over here, basically. Like,
I mean,
for-
sure,
like,
but like, narratively.
yeah.
Let's do. You know what? Let's just melee attack. Let's just go for it. Here we go. Dirk. Ah, I missed. No.
Yep, that's a miss.
Wait,
uh,
did you put the plus 10 modifier? No, that was to
You don't get a
parry.
plus 10.
I
That's for
didn't-
parrying.
yeah, my bad.
I didn't aim as well.
Actually,
Sorry, Buttprints?
well, the skull should have had some other stuff to do, but gonna. It's busy eating Etienne, basically.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm gonna roll another attack because it's some.
You can't
No?
attack twice.
Oh
You only get
no.
one attack. So you can do perilous stunts. If you look at the list of perilous stunts, you can get an attack and a perilous stunt, or you can move, or you can do special actions, which are mostly reactions, though, so those don't really matter.
Let's try for a stunning blow.
Okay, so
Athletics test is what I need, and then they must resist toughness or be stunned.
and stunning is they lose 1 AP on their turn, so
Yeah.
they would only have 2 AP. So
All right. Well, I succeed on
okay.
my rating, but they have to. It's on them.
and they get to resist twice. First now, and then at the start of their turn.
Okay.
So stuns, and it must make a toughness. Okay. It succeeds.
Ah,
It is
damn
not
it!
stunned. So you have one more AP left.
I'm gonna keep that for a parry.
Okay. Ertica, it is your turn.
Back to 3 AP. I feel like I should probably try and stun this skull, although I might need 2 parries if they both go for me.
Yeah.
So, generally speaking, stunning these things probably not that useful because they just have been doing 1 attack each.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out because I feel like you might need a little help with this fight.
No, it's okay. We're gonna get him. Don't worry about Prince.
Okay. I mean, the rest of you still have fate points, so it's fine.
I take 1 action point to aim and then mortuary sword.
Okay, so you get a plus 10 on your attack action.
Yeah, that's probably the.
That's
go.
a hit.
Ooh, nice.
The damage. Here it comes.
D6 plus combat bonus.
Yes.
Yes,
5, yeah.
that's the way it always works.
Oh.
So, would you like to spend a fortune point to make that count as a 6?
Yes.
The D6.
Oh, good call.
This is another use for fortune points, and I suggest keeping that in mind.
And that causes that to explode, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that causes it to explode, so you can roll another D6. So you rolled that's 5 plus 6, so 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
12
all
damage.
total.
Okay.
And then a chaos die. to...
Hang on. So yes, it goes one more track down. So you roll 3d6 now for wounds because it's the next level of wound.
Mm.
Nice.
No wounds.
Damn it.
No.
But it is now only 2 steps away from death.
2 steps from death.
Mhm.
So Elora is still 1, and Erdica is 2 now.
Correct.
So it attacks Erdica.
Hooray!
It misses. So it snaps at you and really can't get past your shield, I think, is what's happening here. And it's not going to do anything else.
Turns
on
out
its
when
turn.
you only have a mouth, shields are pretty good.
Yes, I have a mouth, and all I can do is bite stuff. That's
No,
tentacles.
the lesser known spin-off.
So this next skull has finished Etienne off,
Yeah,
essentially, in its
yeah.
in its estimation. I'm not going to be like, it keeps eating you and you die again, because that would counteract the fate point
That would
spending,
be-
and
that
that
would
would be
be-
very unfair.
yeah,
It would be like, you spent your fate point. Well, it eats you again. You're
A
dead.
negation
No,
of the fate
that-
point. Yeah.
The fate points are essentially like you're now like you're saved through
You're
some
safe.
supernatural or
Yes.
like pure luck kind of thing. So
it
it's
like
done with
threw
Etienne, and
me
it's
into
gonna-
a gutter and kind of out of its line of sight.
All right. Come at me, Bud Prince. I'm pretty sure it's coming at me anyway. Did we lose Bud Prince again? No? Okay.
They rolled a 58.
Okay.
Maybe they just lagged out on Discord slightly.
No, I lagged out. I lagged out again. I
All right.
changed. It should be working now, but it might drop again. So
I see a
58 is a hit.
Oh no. Okay.
So would you like to parry?
Of course. Yes. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So roll your simple melee plus 10.
Plus 10. Does my dirk do anything with this? No, it's my staff that's good for a parry.
Yeah, your dirk is harder to parry, but
Yeah.
does not make it easier to parry.
I just wanted to check. I was just, just checking out whether. Yeah, parried.
Hey, nice.
Okay, you take no damage. And this parry looks a bit funny, like a toothpick versus a giant mouth. So like you're like,
I think it's
sort
more
of-
that I just get out of the way.
yeah.
Go
So
for the
essentially,
eyes.
Yeah.
you parry, and now you can riposte as it is your turn.
I aim and attack
Okay, plus 10 to your attack.
because I was playing by a different thought. Damn it!
that is still a miss. Yep. Would you like to re-roll?
Yeah, you know what? I do want to reroll.
Got 3 fortune points
We're
left.
doing it.
Now we have 2 left.
There we go.
Okay. So we're keeping that damage. That's
Yep, that's
8.
fine.
So
damage.
unless you'd like to spend a fortune point to make that a 6,
Nope.
that's 8.
No.
So it takes a wound. Please roll 1d6 chaos die to see if it's injured.
It's not.
All right, Erdica, you're up.
I do the same thing as last time. Aim and stab.
It seems like
Alright,
it seems
last
like
time.
the go, like the aim
Yeah,
and stab.
For these things, this is a very simple fight. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest.
obviously.
Like, that's a hit. Please roll damage. 1d6 plus combat bonus. 10.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
So it takes
Please-
another wound. Please roll 46 to determine the injury.
I hope it dies soon.
Hey,
Oh,
there's injuries.
Okay.
Six.
Okay. So now I gotta go find the table because I forgot to bring it up.
Please,
Uh,
please die,
combat
skulls.
mastery. There's a chance because this is the worst kind of injury you can inflict on things. This is a grievous injury because it is grievously wounded. Now, finding the injury table is always
General
a mystery. to
Kenobi.
me. And I should really have just popped it out or screenshotted it. All my other rules, I screenshot these pages, but for some reason, when I was prepping, I was like, I'm just not going to look this up for some reason.
It's all
So
good.
index, I believe, will tell me, but oh god. Strange.
I'm hoping for some Blood Bowl style injuries where it's like miss next match.
Well, this is. I guess I
we
haven't.
lose 1 movement allowance.
Where? What the hell?
What we
Combat options.
we really need.
Combat rules. Suffering injuries. There we go. Okay. So please roll a d100.
What we really need is dead into apothecary dead.
77. So, huh. I'm gonna call this like basically you hit its leg. It's like kneecapped, so it can no longer move. It's sort of on one leg, like uh, half standing. It's not like
So if I just move away from it, it's fine, and it will just stay there.
well, you can find out.
Well, if you move away from it, I'm still next to it. Don't do that.
Keep in mind there are opportunity attacks in this game. So if you do move away from it without using the maneuver action, movement action, you will get attacked. So, but it's currently one of its legs is injured. That clearly, like something has harmed it. You've hit it right in the kneecap, basically. But
Nice.
Let's see. And that's your turn, I believe.
Indeed, I got one action point left to parry.
Here comes.
So it's on one leg and it's just sort of on the ground almost. Like it's not prone because I don't think skulls, unless you tipped it on its side, it doesn't really count as prone. So this thing lunges at you like desperate with one leg kind of hop at your like shield again. Let's see how it does.
The desperate hop attack of doom.
So it hits.
Oh shit!
Would you like to parry?
Yes, I would like to use my action point to parry.
Please roll your melee, martial melee in your case. You easily, you just, this is a desperation one-legged hop attack, and you're just like, no thanks. It bounces off your shield.
Tink.
And now the next skull.
Cross your fingers, everyone.
Attacking Alora again.
I don't want to end up like Etienne over here.
Nope. It misses.
Oh god.
And I think it's gonna move over here.
But Prince used up all their good rolls on my my damage.
Listen, I checked. I was like, am I just rolling 6? Did
No,
I type
no,
/R6?
No, you just rolled very, very well.
rolled 1d6.
You just
I was like,
look.
this is, what?
Statistic, like as I've said before in other previous TTRPGs, statistically, you're likely on 4 dice to roll something that isn't a 1. And I managed to roll 4 1s, so we know it's possible.
Okay. Speaking of rolling, it's
yeah, my turn. I'm gonna aim and stab at I think an injured skull, like a really bad injured skull.
Okay, it's previously injured. So
I just want to try and get it off the field.
I'm gonna give you a +10 to hit this one because it's injured and it just did a lunge at Urtica, and it's sort of recovering from the attack and it's very badly injured.
All right.
Oh, by the way, it's the sauce blood. It's bleeding blood, but the blood smells this delicious, pungent, delicious smell, like it's bleeding sauce, but the sauce is still blood. So you
hit it. 9 damage.
Please, 9 damage. So it is slain. What does it look like when you kill this giant skull with meat legs?
I think because it is fully wounded by Urtica and just like generally attacking Urtica, I managed to snake a stab into a vulnerable point in its armor, whatever that might be, like the bone of it. Maybe I stab it in the eye or something.
I think it's not facing away from you, so this is probably like if it had a spine, there's probably a weak spot underneath its skull that like you just stab it right there with your dirk and it falls limp.
Yep,
basically.
sounds
where
good.
the legs join the skull.
Yeah. And again, sauce everywhere, but it's blood, but it smells like barbecue sauce or like delicious.
And then I turn to the other skull and I get ready to parry.
Okay, so you aimed, right?
I did.
So you have one action point. Urtica, your turn, please. And I won't count the skull's corpse as like occupying the space. It's sort of big enough, but it's not so big that it impedes movement or anything. If you just wanted to move into the same square,
this was just me trying to make us not take 2 attacks next turn and only take 1. I didn't mean to steal.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to steal your kill.
Tactical genius. In fact, that's a very good plan.
If I charge, it takes 2
You are
action
not.
points.
You are too close to get the benefit of it. You have to move at least 3 squares for the charge to count as a.
You could like
attack.
charge 2 squares away, or do you have to charge in the same direction?
It has to be in a straight line, I believe.
Alas.
Yes. So you could move then charge, but then you won't get attack this turn.
And my reach 5 feet. Or
Your
however
reach on your sword is engaged, so you have to be next to it. Any of the
Okay,
squares
so
next
I
to
will
it.
have to
don't.
spend an action point hustling next to this thing.
Yes.
Hustled.
Mhm.
I mean, you could just attack instead of aiming, and then you'd still have one for a parry.
Yeah.
There's a 50% chance it won't attack you.
Yeah, but then there's a 100% chance that you'll die. That you'll die
I hit it
immediately.
anyway.
Yes. Well. So you hit. Please roll damage.
Hey!
6. Reroll the 6. So that's 15.
15.
I love it.
Please roll 4d6 chaos dice. That's a 6.
Injury.
Please roll d100. A 20. So 20 is cerebral contusion, which is very fitting considering these are giant skulls.
Yes.
It's unconscious.
Oh, nice.
Yep. It's
Is
just
it
Just
now,
like Etienne.
basically
not dead.
helpless?
It's unconscious. So yes, it counts as helpless. Any attack you make against it will be an instant kill. It's unconscious until it undergoes surgery. So basically, it's dead.
By surgery, do you mean butchery, perchance?
Surgery, butchery in the grim and perilous world of Zweihander, those two things are very similar, is what the book would say probably. But yes, actual surgery, like health medical surgery.
Yeah, no, I know. I was being silly.
I mean,
Or-
it smells like delicious barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still alive. I don't know how you can really tell that such a thing is alive. But
The only difference from dead is that we can eat it while it's still alive.
in fact, I'm gonna say you can't tell. It just stops moving, basically. Like there's no real sign that it's dead, but it's dead. For all intents and purposes. Now, what happens to Etienne?
That's a good question.
Hello.
I think narratively, there's nothing really interesting I can do here. Like you don't get carried off by angels, or something weird doesn't happen. This is just fate saved you in some way.
This
But-
is a freak accident.
Yeah.
I think I am going to roll for injuries.
By all means.
Okay.
I take an injury.
Would you like to roll 1d100 for me, please?
I would love to. 98.
Why would
Is
you?
high numbers
High is bad. High is very bad.
Bring it on.
You know what?
Bring it
No,
on. I
no,
love
because
my
you're
other
slain.
characters.
You see, you're slain. Now, that's why I wasn't sure when I should actually count the fate point usage. If you're instantly slain,
if I was instantly slain and then by
you were
being
instantly slain
unconscious-
twice, basically.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like this injury would have happened when you took that damage, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the injuries work when you're instantly slain. And I'm just gonna, because that seems.
You
sort of
know
silly.
what? Why don't we just call it lucky? And like we already negated slain.
Well, because actually, let me read the rule. The rules for fate points is that they negate death or injury, right? And I'm not sure
if
if
it
it
says
counts
death
as
or
both.
injury, then I wouldn't have rolled injury for negating death.
Well, that's what I'm. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
you technically take the injury when you move down the damage condition track, but you usually do that when you get to that point. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I even have to roll
I
for
don't-
3 different injuries or. And also, I rolled 1d6
I think if
less than I should have.
I think if you skip steps on the track, then you don't roll.
Skip those injuries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just say we didn't roll that because again, that seems super unlikely.
It's
Well, I mean,
that's like
if the rule says I can't find it right now in the book, but if the rule for fate point says it negates death and injury, then one would assume if you die and use a fate point, you don't
you're good.
take injuries
Yeah.
because that covers the other half of the death or injury.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm ruling it that way. I
Well,
don't-
because
I feel like-
assumedly, when you move to slain on the condition track, let's just like logic this out. If you move to slain on the condition track, you don't roll injuries because you're dead, so it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
It's true. Yeah,
right?
that's what I think. I wasn't expecting you to die. I rolled this injury because I was like, oh, we should give you something. But rolling a 98 on a grievous injury again after, I think that's a little unfair of me to like to do that.
It's
So
bad. It's a
we'll
bad
just call
time.
it. We'll call it you're unconscious, and
Yes.
you're not recovered. This is you're unconscious now for unconscious amount of times. In fact,
Yeah.
what's your brawn bonus?
My BB is 7.
Okay, roll me a. Let's call it a d10.
Rolling a d10. A 2.
Okay. This is just to determine how long you're unconscious
Yeah.
for. And I'm not going to tell you
No, that's fine.
how
Yeah.
long it is, but
Yeah.
just your BB factor into that. Okay, so Etienne, marvelously, miraculously, not dead. These 2 skulls have been slain by the party, somewhat, dramatically. After that, what do you do? You're currently in a street, as I described it, and yeah, what do you do?
Well, first I go to check if Etienne is okay. Because
Yeah, rushing over to Etienne seems like the thing to do.
So he's breathing, and slumped against the wall, covered in sauce.
Mm.
It's not his blood, obviously. It's the blood of this skull thing that it was
Can
sort of
I-
leaking.
can I try and ascertain that Etienne is not currently dying? Like, cause they're unconscious, right?
Yes. So roll me a. You don't have the heal skill, do you?
I do not, unfortunately.
No, I'm the character that has the heal skill in the party.
So if you don't have heal, I think I'll either let you roll a heal skill, but then you flip to fail, or we can just make you roll. I think awareness.
Awareness. I'll roll.
Yeah.
I'll roll awareness.
Now it's slightly harder
That's
because you're
fine.
not a doctor, but
Maybe you
so
want me
just
situational
it's a,
modifier.
it's a 10 harder, so minus 10.
I manage anyway.
Okay, so yeah, he's seems perfectly fine, except for like a little sauced and
Yeah.
unconscious, obviously not
I
not
turn.
aware.
I turn to Urtica and I say, well, it looks like the coat took the worst of it. So that's good. I think he's gonna be okay. We just have to wait a little while to see.
Should we retrace our steps, find somewhere safe?
We could. Here's definitely not safe if those things are gonna come wandering through.
We found the garden not too long ago.
Yeah. No, you're right. Let's go back that way.
So does Urtica like pick me up?
Urtica will just sling Etienne over her shoulder.
Elora doesn't even try.
What's
Someone
your,
take my axe, please.
What's your encumbrance, Urtica? Like, do you have?
Where do I find that?
So it'll be on your character sheet, under I think it's the same place that initiative and all that stuff is.
Yeah, it's underneath like fellowship.
My encumbrance limit is 3 plus BB is 12.
12, and you've got a bunch of gear too. So we're gonna call you. How much stuff does Etienne? What's your brawn bonus? 7.
Yes.
We'll call you overage of 7. Or is that too much? Because this removes every point of overage removes. I think you might need help carrying Etienne and his stuff.
I mean, I can help. I do not have a very high encumbrance limit, however.
Actually, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna say we'll half the brawn bonus.
Well,
of
if we can't,
overage.
I know this is obviously out of character because I can't contribute as Etienne. But if we can't like move, you could wait until I'm conscious. Like wait in one of these houses because these are doors, aren't they? The blue.
Yes, those are doors. Well, the thing is, I didn't get you to figure out your actual current encumbrance for all your gear and stuff.
No, we haven't done that
No.
yet.
I didn't figure all that stuff out. So like, I'm trying to a fair amount of overage for carrying
My
a
weapons
person.
and shields are 7.
7.
Weapon and shield 7 and 12 total for ink. So
So your current encumbrance is 7, right? Or current, yeah. And then we'll add 4 for carrying. So you're currently 1 point of overage, which means your movement is 3 now, and your initiative is 5.
So if it's 7 plus 4, that's 11, right?
Yeah, would be
Yeah.
under
Oh.
under Ink's encumbrance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
under
no,
by
so
one.
you're fine then, I think. If I'm going by 4.
Etika is strong.
Maybe I should. Well,
Urtica
and this
is
isn't this.
big.
Yeah, and this isn't counting the
The gear
maul.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Elf, you're carrying Etienne's splitting maul.
Yeah, I can certainly do
So
that.
and figure out your encumbrance as well at some point. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really.
It's important when you're
figured that
carrying
stuff out,
people.
yeah.
It like matters.
Yeah. So I think you're okay.
So
but
I
you've got-
only like my staff gives me an encumbrance of 2, but my dirk doesn't give me encumbrance at all because it's not
Yeah, and you have a bunch of stuff.
I have
too,
a bunch
though.
of things, so that would be at
that's the
least
stuff.
another 1 or 2, I would say, like based on what I know.
I mean, Urtica, honestly, Urtica's is probably higher than 7, because of like you've got an astral fishing rod, and you've got oil pot, and you've got a lantern, and you've got a spear. So like,
The spear was counted.
oh, you counted the spear, okay. But you have a rucksack, so like that, a bunch of stuff can go in the rucksack. I think most of Etienne's stuff can probably fit in your packs, like split between you two.
Yeah.
Well, I also have a rucksack, so you could just like
Okay, yeah.
strap the other rucksack over your other shoulder. Kind of thing.
Anyway, you're moving. We'll say you're moving at a slower pace.
We'll
than you
move
would
it,
be
yeah,
normally.
at a slower pace. Yes, let's
Yeah.
elide the troublesome details.
Well, I think I'm gonna get. Well, the thing is, the rules for encumbrance in this game are like what makes sense to encumber someone. If you're carrying a ladder, you should count as encumbered, even though it's not heavier technically than what you can carry.
Yeah, 'cause it's awkward to
Carrying a
carry.
ladder around, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna encumber you by 1. I think, just on the basis that you're carrying a human being.
Yeah.
So, like, rules wise, encumbrance is sort of, it's nebulous. So I'm going to give you 1 point of overage. So you're moving at 3, and your initiative is 5 for the time being. So if you get into another fight, you'll have a lower initiative count, and then you can drop Etienne, but your initiative won't get better, but your movement will get better when you drop.
All right, sounds good.
So do you do anything with the meat skulls, or you just leave them there?
I don't really think they're a priority right now. As much as Alora
They
would like
do smell
to,
delicious.
as much as Alora would like to check it out, I think getting Etienne better is the
So
priority.
I can take you off this map now.
Etienne is touched from his unconscious state that you value his life over
Delicious skulls.
exploration and study.
I mean, you did save her ass from the stardust, like the star stuff.
So, this is the world map now, as you can see.
Oh
You can't
no!
see what happened to the other squares
the
because you're
tiles.
not next to them right now. So,
Ooh.
but you basically came into this. It was 1 exploration phase, so I'll say it was at least an hour's worth of like walking around before you ran into these skulls, right? And first of all, I'd like you both to roll eavesdrop.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm yawning a lot this morning.
Critical fail.
Just a fail.
The critical fail, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna add anything to that, right? You're completely oblivious to.
In other words, the failure condition is bad enough on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the thing I could do here is stress you out a little, and I think, I'm gonna roll 1d10 plus 1 because it is quite stressful. You're carrying a person.
Yeah. No need to pull punches on our rolls.
So you're not stressed. It doesn't affect you because it's below your peril threshold. I'm sure your peril threshold is higher than 3, but yeah, that'll be the consequence for that critical fail. And basically, this narratively, like you're getting stressed out a little. Like you're not sure if you heard something around the corner. This is like you're wandering through the streets trying to get your way back to where you came from, and I asked for an eavesdrop on that basis of hearing something happening, but neither of you succeeded, so you don't hear anything specific, but it's slightly worrisome. And I'd also like now for you to decide your roles as far as travel, because you're traveling back to the Cosmos District. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep.
Yeah.
So a navigation test from the navigator and a stealth test from the scout. And I'm going to give you a strong disadvantage because you're carrying Etienne, so you're scouting. You're not on your, on your own. You're carrying a human being or a person, a
A
war
boar
folk.
folk. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are gonna have a harder time essentially. So I'm gonna give you probably a plus 10 difficulty to that stealth test.
You mean a -10?
Yeah, -10.
What
Yeah.
about the navigation? Anything to do?
Navigation, I will give you the same. In fact, you'll get a bonus to it because this is retracing your steps.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's probably easier because you literally just have to. Hmm, actually, make a scrutinized test first, Elf, and then
Okay.
this is to see if you remember the way.
I don't. I wasn't.
Okay,
Oh
so
looking.
no bonus to the navigation test. It's just a straight up standard 0.
Laura's a great navigator and directions haver when she's interested, but as soon as she moves past what she's interested in, she doesn't remember. And I navigate poorly, unfortunately.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like a toughness test from both of you.
Yeah. All right, I make the toughness test, and so does Urtica.
Okay.
Yay!
So you do not suffer any additional stress. Urtica, I'd like an extra toughness test because you're carrying Etienne.
I know, I'm causing so much trouble.
Okay, so this is represents the weight of carrying a person extra distance, right? And it's just going to be a little bit of physical peril. It's less bad than failing the first toughness test. This is like an additional. Maybe I should have just given you a harder time on the first one, but I'm sticking to this. A 3 again. I assume that's below your peril threshold.
Yep.
So you're just sweating. This is an arduous trek, and on top of that, it seems like you haven't found your way back to where you were going. You're still in the Carnamance district, and I would like you to roll a d8. A 1.
Has enough time passed yet that Etienne might wake up?
It has been, we'll call it 1 hour. Every travel, well, because travel normally, but narratively, it doesn't make sense for it to be like 6 hours go by to get back to where you came from, because the 6 hours you spent last time were sort of in the Cosmos district itself, and then you spent like 1 hour here. So I'm not going to say, oh, it's 6 hours later because it's a travel thing. This is like a little backtracking, but you failed either way. So roll a d6, please.
A D6. Okay.
Yeah, the D8 was one thing.
1.
Okay, so, and the stealth test was a success from Urtica?
It was, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you aren't surprised, and this isn't an off-guard thing. You basically hear a bunch of voices ahead of you somewhere in the streets.
Oh, okay.
They're speaking common or whatever the language of the city is, and there's shouting and like it sounds like agitated people essentially, and that's what all you get at this point. And it's somewhere ahead of you on the path you're heading in, so you have a chance to avoid it.
I think Laura turns to Urtica at that point and goes like, we may be going the wrong way. I don't remember this from the way back through. Well, maybe. No, we didn't run into a crowd, did we?
We did not.
Well,
But crowds aren't known for being especially persistent.
True.
Follow your instincts. Do you think we're going the right way?
Yes, definitely.
Oh no.
I failed the roll, so of course I do.
Very well. Then we shall continue.
Laura always thinks she's going the right way, whether she's going the right way or not. All right, so maybe we move a little cautiously towards the noise prints. Keep our eye out for the
Skim the periphery.
Yeah.
So the voices grow louder if you're heading in that direction, obviously. Why don't you roll me both an eavesdrop test? Just if this is to give you more information as to what these voices are saying, kind of thing. If you're cautiously approaching, right?
They're having a skull thing barbecue. Hey, I did it.
I'm talking
These
about
are
sacred
drunk
skull
people.
things.
This is the sound of people carousing. You hear like a clip of a song. Sounds like a drinking song of some kind. Like
Okay. All right.
there's something going on that's festive in nature, or at least it sounds like it's a pleasant occasion. And these are voices of like clearly intoxicated individuals, right? And I think you hear these voices getting louder, and they probably crossed your path. So let's get a map out again.
Yeah. Woo.
Just bring you back to the same map because I'm not going to draw a whole new map for
That's fair.
streets.
I like
So here
your
you
I
are.
like your low what do you call it, like lo-fi roll 20
Well,
map.
it's, the way I describe this game is free to play roll 20.
Yeah.
It's basically I'm not buying any assets. I'm just drawing it myself.
Yeah.
I would love to, but I don't want to. So I'm just drawing it. I'm pushing the limits of what you can do for free on roll 20.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give them a fish token. What token should I give this?
That's
Why don't you
10,000.
roll me while I figure this out? Roll me a
You-
d6, please.
You steal from Samsunu 10,000 years dungeon.
No.
Oh, so it's just two individuals.
Oh, Urtica rolled a 6 though.
Oh, I saw a 2.
Yeah,
Oh, Urtica rolled first. Okay,
I
so
was
it's
slow.
8 individuals since you
Oh
both rolled.
shit!
62 people.
That's 62.
No, I'll just go with the 6. I think that's the fair thing to do. I'm not gonna actually be like, there's eight of them.
They all have rakes.
Yes, again, free to play. I
Yeah.
didn't draw a token for these
Yeah.
guys because they're just
Do they all have
schlubs.
beaks?
So that's just because they're not really scaled properly for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
I think I had to hold Alt for it to scale correctly. But you know what? Let's just say some of them are seagull people.
Oh, nice.
Seagull feel. Hell yeah.
Not all of them, but they're various animal folk, we'll say, and some of them are seagull people.
Well, at least they'll be easy to trick, because if there's one thing I know about seagull people, they're very gullible.
Ah,
uh,
gullible.
yeah. So they see you, and you see them, and one of them is like they're sort of drunkenly stumbling down the street, and one of them turns and goes, "Oh, what's all this then?"
Our friend was hurt, and we're hoping to find somewhere where we can recuperate nearby. Laura,
By now, all of them have stopped.
Laura like gestures with her chitin-covered fingers to Urtica and Etienne over Urtica's shoulder.
Various noises, drunken people.
Yeah.
The front steps forward. Your friend too much to drink, then?
No, actually, he was mauled by a skull leg thing.
So they all pause, and then burst out laughing, like, "Ah, you got Skursling, then? Ah, very good, very good. You in town for the running of the Skurslings, then?"
I'm very interested in what this event might be, but no, unfortunately, we're here by accident.
Accidental Skursling incursions?
Yes. Seemingly so. I may have led us into the wrong section of town initially.
Well, you see, right now, it's the off season, so we've got to find something fun to do. We locals like to run the Skurslings, yeah.
Do you run? Do they run, or do you run through them, or?
You run away from them. Yeah, I guess you obviously didn't figure that part out. It might not be quite obvious that you should run away from giant skulls.
No, I wasn't. We weren't weren't apprised of the local custom. But I appreciate the information, very least. Do you know where we could recuperate from our Skursling run?
Well, you can just open one of these doors and go inside somewhere. I'm sure there's no other living there. Or you could come with us. We can go party.
But you look like you are coming from a party rather than going to one.
Oh, party all the time.
I
No
see.
games.
Um,
Trying to join us then, says one of the other ones.
I look to Urtica and I'm like, do we go with the crowd or?
Attica just sort of half shrugs, thus wiggling.
I was going to say she
everywhere.
shrugs and
Are
Etienne
you-
just goes, "Blah."
Are you okay with Etienne over your shoulder there?
Absolutely.
All right then. I suppose we will come with you. Yes. We'll come with you. Etienne will wake up sooner or later.
Can't be as disastrous as the last time.
So by now they've sort of
Why would you say that, Hank?
crowded around you, like they're all interested, right? Because you're new in town, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Wow, what's going on?" So, why don't we help you with them then? Huh?
Oh yes. Thank you. I'm sure you're used to carrying incapacitated members of your group around.
Attica is absolutely not just giving
No.
Etienne over to a random drunk.
So one of them looks at you like, "What are you implying?"
Well, you seem somewhat intoxicated.
Ah, never mind. Of course, you're used to carrying drunk people all the time. Lenny fell over into the creek one time, and they're sort of, talking about like
I
various drunken like.
I shudder to
memories.
imagine what a creek is like in this place.
Yeah, I don't think he said creek. That was just what came to mind. It's like gutter or something
Yeah.
like that, right? Or like sewer.
to the meat
A
like-
sluice.
constant flow of ale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flow of
Urtica
ale
isn't-
weed.
Urtica, you're not giving up Etienne.
No, I am
No,
not giving up
no.
Etienne.
Okay, so they back off. They're somewhat like okay.
They're chill.
Giant-
They're
oh,
just
yeah.
chill and drunk, and
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of them are seagulls.
Yeah, so I won't. I can roll to determine what the other ones are. I'm not going to the crowd of people. Like you can imagine any of the ancestries that you want for them, basically, unless they specifically get called out, right? So you go with them.
Yeah, we go with them. 100%.
Okay, so since you have 10, I'm gonna give you another roll, Urtica, for toughness,
Okay.
just to see how tired you are, if you get tired from carrying him again. Okay, so you're used to it by now, like,
Urtica, tough as
carrying-
nails.
and I think you get to like a tavern, right? And you can tell it's a tavern because someone has like put up a one of those signs, not against the wall, but like those
Like a sandwich board type.
yeah, like a sandwich board, right? And it just says like, tavern right here,
Yeah.
drinks here, with like some kind of chalk marking, or maybe it's carved into a table leg, or it's a makeshift sign. It's like a table that they've tipped on the side and like propped up and carved drinks with a Z and like a big arrow. And by this time, it takes you a while to get there. Etienne, you've actually woken up. You're currently being carried on the back of Urtica, and there's six drunk like hooligans essentially standing around or walking in like sort of a pace. And Elora is there too. Like I think there's some small talk with the drunk people that happened,
Probably, yeah.
but they're all very like drunk, so there's not much coherence going between them all.
So
But
I'm
you wake
I'm
up.
waking up still on Urtica's shoulders.
Yes, this is
I
midway.
feel like
to bar,
the first
or
thing
like
you
get there.
the first thing you hear when you wake up is Laura asking one of the drunks, "So you're supposed to run away from the Skurslings, but they seem very fast. Are you all that fast?"
No, quite a few casualties, if we're honest. That's why we're used to carrying people sometimes. Skirslings are quite dangerous, but most of them aren't that dangerous that they
She notices
incapacitate.
out of the corner of her eye while she's listening that Etienne is like waking up on Urtica's shoulder.
Yeah, like slowly coming back to consciousness.
And she looks over at Etienne and says, "Oh, good, you're awake. Urtica, I think Etienne is coming to. inadvertently participated in a sport.
Ouch. That's the first thing Etienne says. It's
He
like,
sets him down. Suddenly we're in the intro to Skyrim. You're awake.
Finally awake.
yeah,
Oops.
Etienne kind of sits up, then stands up if he can. Kind of like, would I don't know, brush myself off. It's probably not particularly dirty, probably cleaner than walking on the streets, being on Earth's shoulders.
Probably.
But yeah, like looks down at the coat because you said like the coat took the brunt of the impact.
It's
I
just
think
covered
Aurora,
in
you narrated
barbecue. It's
that.
just covered in barbecue sauce.
Now
Or,
the blood has coagulated by now.
Yeah,
right? So,
looks down at
this is
his.
gross.
It looks down at his coat, which is like stiff because of the amount of coagulated juice on it, and
You
just
smell
says,
delicious.
"Oh well, that was highly unpleasant.
You're not injured, are you? Nothing I didn't
I
notice
don't-
or anything?
I don't know. So, question, Butt Prince, how does this work with regards to like peril? Am I just like unhindered? Oh, have we lost Butt Prince?
No,
They
I'm
have-
here.
No.
Okay.
So I was thinking about that, and you might just be incapacitated, which means that you can't roll any skill checks. You always fail all your skill checks until you get rested, basically.
Okay.
So I think that's what we're gonna do. Basically, you're not recovered. You're conscious essentially. You're at the like incapacitated means you fail all skill checks mechanically, but like narratively, you can still move around.
I
and
can
stuff.
walk around and interact with things, but I can't do anything.
Yeah, you'll never
So,
succeed. So you
I
can try to
think-
listen. You can try to convince
Yeah.
people, but they're gonna be like, oh, you're.
I think Etienne reaches out to get his axe back from Elora and like grabs at thin air because he's got like double vision going on. So he grabs like 1 foot to the left of where the axe is actually being held out to him. And he goes, and then kind of like just like almost falls over again because he does like a dizzy spell.
So by now the
probably
other carry on.
you probably want to sit down soon. And yeah, she looks over and sees the other people going inside there, Butt Prince.
Yeah, everyone sort of started moving in. One of them claps you on the back, Etienne, quite violently.
Etienne falls over.
You're supposed to run away from the Skurslings. Next time, we'll teach you the proper etiquette.
Next time, I'll hit it harder.
You.
Sorry, Butt Prince, you lagged out on that one.
Oh. Went very drunkenly. Killed them then.
Yes, yeah, both of them, the two that we ran into.
You just left them in the street.
Should I not have?
Wow, Skursling meat is some of the most delicious meat you've ever eaten in your entire life. Most of the time, people don't really get to eat it unless they, So you've missed out, really. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
Well,
It didn't look especially meaty.
I suppose we will know for next time.
Yeah. I was a bit too busy being unconscious, personally.
Well, you smell delicious. You smell just like a Skursling barbecue. Skursling barbecue. And one of the other guys are like, oh yeah, Skursling barbecue. My favorite. And they all now have moved into the tavern.
Etienne kind of looks at the other two and says, I don't know if they have showers in there, but if they do, I will pay anything to shower right now.
Well,
kind of like
let's
looks down at his sauce-covered self.
I suppose we'll just go inside and
Yeah.
all right. I'm gonna follow them into the tavern.
Okay, so the tavern is a building that has been repurposed as a tavern rather than an actual, tavern as you'd imagine it, right? There's just a bunch of furniture that's laid around. These are stools, those little squares, and the big squares are big tables. And there's like a makeshift bar that's just a bunch of benches or something strapped together, and they have a big keg of something that they've tapped into, and they're handing out steins or various drinking goblets and so on. and they're just drinking, sitting around drinking. That's all they're doing in here.
Presumably, it's a keg of something drinkable and not like a keg of machine oil.
Well, you can't discern that from where you're standing. You could try some or ask them, but yeah, I won't tell you what it is unless you, you know.
I think Etienne using his axe as like a walking stick to steady himself, just kind of like gets to the nearest free stool and just like plonks himself down on it, so he has somewhere to sit.
Alora is, I think, probably inquiring about any local landmarks to the person who went behind the bar.
Okay, so this guy is named Gilyu.
Gilyu. All right.
Gilyu? Yeah, that's Gilyu.
Yeah, Gilyu.
You.
This is one of the gold people. What do you ask him exactly?
I say, so you said it was the off season. Off season of what? What's usually done around here?
Oh, only the greatest sport in the entire city. Scursball. Yeah.
Scursball. And all the
Yes.
while, by the way, she's writing things down.
Does it involve scarslings?
Yeah, Skurslings are the they're the ball. Skursball is made with Skurslings. So they start out about ball size, all right? You know what a ball is, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
Imagine a ball that's a Skursling. That's the usual size for a Skursling. That's that size. And you use it as part of the ball in the Skurs ball.
So, would the ball not bite you in that case?
Well, sometimes, but you've got to grip it correctly. It's a very complicated sport, right? It's not simple. Not anyone can play Skursball, right? That's why we're here drinking instead of doing any kind of Skursling, entertainment, right? We're just the common folk who enjoy watching the sport. We're fans of Skursball.
There are multiple teams that play this game?
Oh yeah. Everyone's got their favorite team, right? Yeah.
And what's your favorite team?
My favorite team is going to be randomly generated over here.
Yay! Random generation.
How do I do this? I didn't make it.
Please say you have like a random Scarsball team name generator.
I was just thinking that Butt Prince is just frantically opening up the Blazeball website to like randomly generate team names.
Blazeball, Blaze, of course.
Blazeball.
Yeah, that's a very good parallel to the kind of sport that this is. Imagine Blazeball, but it's a TTRPG.
I'm sure that's going to exist within the next 5 years. The Blazeball TRPG.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of like a TTRPG already. If you're not familiar with Blazeball, everyone check out Blazeball because it's a great game. I never played it, but I love my favorite part is not paying attention to it properly and
not knowing anything about it.
All I know is that one of my friends is really all in on a player called Shrimp Chocolate.
Shrimp Chocolate.
Yep. That is my total sum knowledge of Blazeball.
That's fantastic.
I'm assuming it's a player. It might be a team.
I
just googled Blazeball and got a team called the Moist Talkers.
Yeah, there you go. So my favorite team are the Untwalled Edifices.
The Untoward Edifices.
Untwalled. Right. Let me spell that out to you.
Yeah.
Chat.
The untoward edifices and
the untoward. Okay.
Untwalled
is in a place, I'm assuming.
I think maybe. I don't actually know why they're called the Untwalled Edifices, but my favorite team. I love them. They skurs that ball just Master. When they get on the field and the Skurs ball begins and the geometry is calculated right and the numbers are crunched, the untold edifices are really just superb Skurs ballers.
So where? So they play in this district, of course. But whereabouts? Could we see the?
Oh, well, they play in the Skurs Ball Arena. That's the place. The Skurs Ball Arena is the place. Don't let the Skursling bite your face. Yeah, it goes. Right, this is the song. Yeah, Skurs Ball. Yeah, you go to arenas and we watch the game there. Well, as I mentioned, right now it's the off season, so there's not much going on. You wouldn't really want to go see Skurs Ball right now, which is why we're all drinking. By the way, are you thirsty?
Well, actually, perhaps you can help us then. We are visiting with a purpose, obviously. That purpose being to find glyphs that people may not be using that we may be able to claim.
What's a glyph?
Never mind then.
That's not good.
Supplies, so food and various sundry things. Your tavern here it's very charming, but I wouldn't want to take anything from you, obviously. Trade goods of any kind, things that valuables that might bring in sort of a I don't know, like she's just reading from the book like the list of stuff that
It occurs to me that those Skirslings were probably more than one of those.
Yeah, I was about to say, the most valuable thing that you've encountered here is Skursling meat. Delicious Skursling meat.
And I
love to eat it.
Turns over to Erdica and goes, actually, they would count as 3 because it would be supplies, trade goods, and bodies, which we all need.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Should we, now that we know that Etienne is safe, should we run back and grab them?
I don't think I'm going to be doing any running in the near future. I can barely stand.
Yes, well, we might have to chalk that one up to an experience. We could rest here with these charming folk, and then figure out where to go from there. I'm not sure the off season is necessarily when we'd want to be here. In this district, not that I don't love your your fantastic drinking culture and general carouserie.
You say that you look across the room and they're all passed out, drunk, like, completely just asleep at their tables, basically, except for the guy you were talking to, Gelwick. What was his name?
Gillu.
Gillu, yeah, it's just above there. Yeah, Gillu. Except for Gillu, all the other ones are basically unconscious, slumped over. Whatever they drank, it's like it was just enough to get them completely, like, super sauced, basically.
More sauce than Etienne?
Well, yeah, they count as unconscious, which is one step worse.
They're incapacitated currently, yes.
Basically, if you stab them now, they would die. Is the rules as written kind of rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the situation. What were you saying? Sorry, I sort of interrupted you.
No, I'm just thinking like we need to make sure that Etienne doesn't have another unfortunate encounter with any hostiles. So I think maybe a rest here, and then we can decide what to do after that.
I concur.
Etienne just kind of like nods as if he's having another dizzy spell, like eyes closed.
I suppose pick a corner. I'll like gesture around the room.
Etienne goes to not the nearest corner, but the furthest back corner.
So I think there's probably another door in here. I should have rolled for this, but I wasn't really present of mind to do that. So we'll just give you a random door. just for information purposes. Over there's a door. And so you head over there. The other two of you, what do you do for the next little while?
I think Elora's gonna try and make a comfy spot to settle down. Probably, close-ish to Etienne, like over here somewhere. And she checks with Gilu, of course, that it's all right for her to sleep here.
So Gilu, as soon as you sort of wandered off, swigged from the drink stuff and just immediately passed out. He drank it, fell over. He's on the ground now behind the bar.
It's like poison. Some kind of chloroform drink.
Can't get rat poison.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd like more information, I can give it to you.
You know what? You know what? After that, I think Elora's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
It might be useful if we've got like an instant knockout.
Elora
potion.
goes over to the keg, the thing they've been swigging, from. Is it like open or?
There's a spigot, I think.
Okay, there's a tap.
So you immediately get close to it, and you can see there's words scrawled on it. Again, in the same knife work as the sign on the outside. And it just says, fermented skursling.
I see.
Oh God, of course.
So...
Like beef beer.
So she's gonna, like, run the tap for just a second and like stick a finger under it, basically.
So the tap, it doesn't flow precisely so much as it gloops.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's just a big gloop of this dark red sauce drips out.
She puts her finger under it and then like licks her finger, basically.
Okay, roll a toughness test, please.
Okay.
I didn't immediately drop unconscious.
I didn't think a single drop would be enough, but we'll see.
Oh, this is don't worry about the consequences too much.
45, make it.
I think it doesn't taste pleasant. Like you don't cough or like spit it up or anything, but it's like really strong, this super strong liquor kind of taste, right? And it has an aftertaste of barbecue sauce.
I think from what I can gather, she turns back to the others and like walks over, closing the spigot, obviously not wanting to drain out all the fermented skursling.
Bourbon barbecue sauce.
And comes over and says, I think from what I can gather, they are drinking rotten fermented skursling. I think everything is mostly about the skurslings here, it seems.
Etienne looks decidedly unimpressed by that.
I mean, it didn't taste bad. Very barbecue flavored.
You say that when your clothes are covered in the stuff.
Well, it could have been worse.
Etienne kind of glares at Elora, like, it could have been? Really?
It could have eaten you. You're here, aren't you?
Somehow, yes, I suppose. I think Etienne kind of like starts rooting around in his bag, pulls out the water skin, like that he's got full of water from the home district, and just like upends it on his head to try and like clear off like some of the things, because like he's just like constantly smelling this barbecue sauce smell, and he just like wants to like have a moment of like not smelling it.
So I think Elora's gonna settle in against the wall over here, like sort of sitting up a little bit, as she scatters her goods around her as she is wont to do, in a little pile. She finishes scribbling in her notebook, shuts it and tucks it away in the bag where it goes, and then looks over to the others and says, well, I suppose we rest up and then we find our way either to something recognizable or out of here. I'm not sure this is necessarily a lucrative place to be. If they don't even know what glyphs are.
I suppose we could take the keg back, if they don't mind.
We could. Yes. If they don't mind.
So let's take a break here. I think is this break time, or should we skip our break? I don't know.
No, that sounds good. We can do it. We can do a break.
5 minutes, I guess. Right?
5-minute
then we've
break.
And
Because you're also taking a break, I assume. You're all resting till Etienne is recovered. So that's like a good 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
sort of
that is.
rest.
Yeah, we're definitely like.
So this is a good point to take a break, narratively and literally.
And
so.
literally.
skip.
All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. See you then, friends. Woo! And we're back. Hello, friends.
Hello.
So I wanted to narrate a little bit because like this is a 6-hour like gap in time where
Yeah,
we're
you've
kind of
got time to
napping
do-
and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I think only Etienne really needs to rest as like
Yeah.
narratively. to
I
recover.
mean, we still sit and rest and what have you. I think Alora does take a nap because I think you put Alora down somewhere and she's she does that to recoup. But I also think if anybody else is awake, she talks in her sleep, like a lot. It's not all intelligible, but it's clear that like during this rest that she's having some kind of like nightmare or like memory of something. And she mentions the library a whole bunch of times, basically like in her sleep.
Right.
So, if anybody happens to be awake or what have you, I know Urtica doesn't technically need to sleep at this point, so.
Urtika's kind of like sitting lotus position, sort of semi-meditating. But I think if like Elora is having some kind of traumatic nightmare, Urtica will be like, come over and just kind of shake her gently to be like, hey, you're having a nightmare.
Yeah, she does like a little bit of like a toss and turn, you know what I mean? Of like while she's kind of like saying unconnected words out loud. And during our last rest, you would have noticed that she like she doesn't rest properly. She's always like talking to herself. Even when she's like in a nice sensible sleep. This is a little bit more violent. And yeah, okay, so you come over and you like shake her awake a little bit. And she like starts awake sort of fully right away. Looking at you with her strangely segmented black eyes. And she says, "Oh, was I?
You were having a nightmare."
Yes, well, I've been worrying about a few things. I probably should have just put them aside before I went to sleep. I don't know exactly what like when you wake up and you can't remember what you were dreaming about or what have you. She's kind of like that. She says,
Then speak of them. What weighs upon your mind?
well, I don't know if you know this. Well, you don't know this. We haven't really spoken before. And Etienne, feel free to like wake up at the talking or what have you.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to
Etienne-
like
no,
exclude you from the scene because you're asleep.
No, don't worry. I think that will happen in
Yeah.
due course. Etienne will wake up at some point.
Elora says, well, before I came to the home district, I guess is what we're calling it, I spent a lot of time in a library, big library. I'm not sure if it would be safe to go back there. It was very wrapped up when I left. But during that time, I read a lot of things. Well, read, maybe not the right word, but I saw a lot of things and learned a lot of things from the secret shelves in the back. The librarian, the keeper of the library, she showed me.
A garden of words.
Oh, just so many more than you could read through in your lifetime. Even in my lifetime, certainly more than I could. But that was the goal, learn everything as much as I can, so as not to be doomed to the unknown. But there was something I was drinking basically every day. It helped me read the books in the dark, and I'm worried that now that I'm not drinking it, that more issues will crop up. Substances one relies on and so forth. When I left the library, this kind of happened, and she like raises her hand that's all like, sort of spider limb chitined together. I'm hoping that's the extent of the issue, but I don't know for sure, and I hate not knowing for sure.
Did we have a doctor back at the base camp?
Yes. A pink goblin doctor lady.
It was Dr. Thornwald.
That is correct.
You could speak with Dr. Thornwald when we return.
I suppose I could. I don't expect that she'll know the long-term effects of ingesting spider venom every day for years.
I have not seen the like of it.
But worth a try. Anyway, don't let me keep you up. I'll go back to sleep and we'll wait for Etienne to.
It would be interesting to find another library somewhere out here.
Another library. Well,
When you're saying that, when you say wait for Etienne to like wake up, Etienne just kind of like says, his eyes are still shut. He's still, sitting against the wall in the corner. He says, "I'm awake. Don't worry."
oh, good then. Are you feeling any better?
But Prince, am I feeling any better?
Has it been 6 hours? When do you want this?
It doesn't
scene
really.
to
It
happen?
doesn't really matter. Like it could be an
Yeah.
interlude, or it could be when we were gonna wake up anyway. Like it.
So let's say this is halfway through, so you feel halfway better. But
Halfway better.
you're resting. You're on your way to.
One thing I was
recovery.
going to ask was that because we have a day's food from the garden last time, will that increase the benefits of this
Yes.
rest? The fact that like we don't have to go out looking for food, we just have it.
You have food right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're probably consuming that food within the next.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
Yeah,
a
I'll mark
full-
it off. I just wanted
yeah.
to ask if if it would like give us a mechanical benefit to eat it. Well, the fact that we don't have to like go out looking for food.
Yeah, so you're not hungry. Basically,
Yeah.
if you hadn't had that food right now, I would be saying this has been like a day now without eating.
Yeah. Cool. I will mark that off my character sheet.
Yeah. And you probably hear a loud thud at this point.
A
Did
loud
any of you
thud.
do anything with the doors in any way?
No.
Any precautions you
no.
wanted to
We definitely didn't narrate having done so.
Yeah,
Okay.
nope.
I mean, I'm offering that as an
I
option. to
assumed
add
that
you.
I assumed that if these 6 guys are in here just like chilling, that it was safe. Like.
Well, that's what the
Trusting
thud
the
is.
dice.
Basically, one of them has fallen off the stool that they
Oh.
were sleeping on
Okay.
over here. That one is now on the floor, like here.
Yeah, Elora starts a little bit at the noise, but like seeing it's just a drunk guy sleeping on the ground, it's fine.
And
I think Etienne's actually going to like, shuffle to his feet and like, hobble over there, and just like make sure that the guy's like, fell off because he was drunk and
Well,
asleep, not
yeah.
like he's died or something.
this is actually a lady.
Okay,
I've decided just now.
Mhm.
So, lady's fallen off her stool.
Yeah.
And she's snoring still.
Okay.
Just on the floor now instead of on a stool. Why don't you make me an eavesdrop test while you're next to that?
Okie dokie. Am I still failing everything automatically?
No,
Because-
we'll say halfway. So your skill ranks are like -2 at the on the
Okay.
peril track, basically. Like you had like 3 hours rest. Narratively, we'll let you roll this.
Okie dokie. Eavesdrop. I do not have that. No modifier beyond.
No modifier.
Ignoring 2
It's
skill
just-
ranks, would
Just
it help?
standard. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's no extra minus for it. No.
Haha, no.
Okay. So that's all you hear.
Yeah.
Snoring, basically loud snoring from the various drunks.
Okay, I think Etienne like looks around. Is there anything like soft I could like put under the person's head? Since they're like just sleeping directly on the ground.
You could put them in the recovery position. I don't know if that's a known.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
medical
I'll like
thing,
fold their elbow and put their head on their elbow.
Yeah, you basically just
Okay.
make them more comfortable.
Because Etienne does have a rank in heal, so he would know basic first aid.
The revolution was big on first aid training.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll a heal test, or does it not matter? to you?
I think like, from everything that Etienne has seen so far, these are just drunk people. I'm not actually trying to like, wake this woman up and make sure that she's like healthy. I just want to make sure that she's not going to like, wake up with a big bruise on her head because it's been lying against a solid floor for 3 hours.
Clearly fine, and you've done just the preliminary kind of check
Yeah.
over, and you don't hear anything. And basically check yourself back to unhindered, not unhindered. What the second one? What it's called?
Yeah,
Not all
imperiled.
the way imperiled. You're imperiled right now because
Cool.
you've rested in an unsafe location
Aha.
out in the city. So, but nothing happened except for a drunk falling over, and that's all you have to worry about now. So it's been 6 hours or so.
Yeah.
The other drunks are still unconscious when you all are finished with your resting.
I think at the end of the rest is when Etienne hands out the fruit, kind of passes a piece to.
Mhm.
Well, I say a piece. I'm imagining it's like a
No, you
I
have
don't
to
know,
eat.
some
You eat
like
the whole
halfway
thing.
between a pumpkin and an orange
Yeah,
in
it's
kind
like
of
a
like
it's like
shape and texture.
it's like a lemon apple or something.
Yeah.
Weird. Like you have to skin it, but then it's an apple underneath, and like it has a waxy exterior. You can bite into it, but you have to like
No.
prepare the fruit in some way. And this is like a normal fruit to you. This is like eating a banana kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
But yeah, Etienne hands one to Urtica and hands one to Alora, and kind of says, that's all we've got. So next time we travel, we'll have to keep our eye out for something else to eat."
Well, maybe these fine people will have something we could take with us.
I don't know if they're that worried about eating so much as they are drinking.
Well, that's fair.
Do we know what's through that door? And he kind of points to the back of the room here.
If I had to hazard a guess, I would say a street.
Well, one way to find out.
Or a storeroom.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Etienne's
if it
thought.
looks like an exterior door or not, to be fair.
Yeah, you can't tell. But the way the city works is this could lead to anywhere pretty much when you open
Yeah.
this door. Like you have no idea, and for like your guess as to as if it's a street or not, you can assume that it's going to be more building because the streets are the buildings are quite wide.
Okay, all right. Well,
Like this is bigger than the
take
street.
back my smarmy comment then about it being a seat.
So I think
You could
Etienne
say, yeah,
carefully opens the door, like a crack, doesn't like swing it wide open.
Okay, so roll me a d6.
Okay.
This is now random room.
Etienne has
generation.
learned nothing from his near-death experience. He's being
I
reckless
almost
and going
died.
in
Quick,
front.
open doors.
Okay,
That is a 1.
roll me a d12 now, please.
That is a 5 on the d12.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you crack it open. Roll me an awareness test, please, as you're peering through this darkened
Sure.
doorway. And I'll say this room here you're in now is lit by like lanterns, and the windows have gone dark from this. Basically, the sun's gone down. It's nighttime
Right.
now because you rested. We'll say about middle of the day, so it's sort of evening nighttime. So there's
So-
lanterns in the room that light up, but this next room is sort of darkened, right? So
Is there any modifier to the awareness test?
we'll give you a -10 because it's peeking through a door, a crack in a doorway, right?
No, I do not
Okay.
see whatever is in
So yeah, you don't get any more information other than it's a room and not the street.
there. Yeah. Well, it's not the street, but I can't really see what's in there. Urtica, could I borrow your lantern, or do you want to take a look yourself with the lantern?
Do you hold out a lantern?
Thank you. Yeah.
So you light the lantern.
Wordlessly.
Keep track of your lantern juice or whatever fuel, whatever it's called, oil, lantern oil.
Yeah.
Lantern juice is
Yeah,
much better.
So
Think
yeah,
of the stuff in the barrel.
kind of do that, the horror movie thing where the arm with the lantern in it goes through the door first.
Okay, so it lights up into another room, and how am I going to do this map-wise? I'll just have to.
You can grow the map on the Roll20 page.
Ah, yes, that's a good idea.
You have to go back to the actual drop down
yes,
map
yeah.
section and increase the number of squares. It'll say 25 by 70. Yeah, you got it.
There we go. So I'll do that once for now because it's not that. This is I think there's another room's worth of building and then the street basically. So let's draw a square to represent the amazing room that you've discovered.
It's gonna be a bathroom, isn't it?
A
So
deep,
that's the room.
dark
No, it's a big bathroom, is there?
bathroom.
Roll me a. How should I do
Indoor
this
swimming pool.
mechanically? There's a lot of rolling to generate random room stuff. So yeah, a D8, please. A D8.
Love some random rolls. An 8. He's hoping that high is not bad
Okay.
on this table.
So yeah, and a D6 now.
Oh.
Skursling
storage room.
Oh no. Ah.
There are 17 Skurslings.
I'm literally gonna say, how did you guess? But
Yeah.
how did you guess that? That's what that was, because it was randomly generated. And yes, it's a seems to be a room designed for keeping animals in it.
Okay.
And
Are there any animals in there?
currently it's empty, and it smells like hay or whatever, it's sort of smell.
Okay, so it's more barn than butchery storage area.
Because Skirslings don't seem like they eat hay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hay is the bedding. So there's these
God,
boxes.
we could have rested on the nice soft bedding.
So these aren't beds. These are like hay filled cages.
Yeah,
sort
but
of.
still would have been softer to lie on than the floor.
And
How
that's what you see. So you see these cages here, and the door. Well, actually, that cage probably isn't there because it would block the door, or maybe the door opens outwards. So yeah, the door opens outward. There's a cage there, like here. Oh, crap! That's the wrong. There, that's a cage, and there's hay in each of these cages, and that's basically the room. There's not much else. There's no other doors, so there's no exit out into the street from the other side. But there are these how many? 5, 6 cages.
Yeah, so Etienne looks back at the other two and sighs. There's just a room with some hay bales in it, or hay cages. Would have been useful to sleep in, I guess, but
I'd prefer
you
to
live
sleep
and
in a
learn.
common room than a cage, I think.
Well, no, but you could have taken the hay out of the cage and used it as bedding, but it's fine.
Fair enough. Well, all right. So nothing we can use, really.
Unless someone needs hay for something.
Not particularly.
Yeah. Etienne hands the lantern back to Urtica and thanks her for letting him use it. And,
Yeah, that won't cost any fuel on the lantern usage.
Yeah, because I imagine you can just put it out again after
Yeah,
a minute of use, and it doesn't immediately video game use up the oil.
Well, I suppose we should be going, or at least see if any of these fine people are awake at this point. How's the crowd looking there, Bar Prince?
So they're all still asleep, unless you like shake them or anything. They seem to be quite unconscious.
I'm gonna go over to Gilu, and like poke.
Can you see the nameplate on him? By the
I
way?
can, yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's how that works. All
And
right.
sort of poke him awake, I guess. Try and wake
All right,
up
so
the
you-
seagull man.
He goes, makes drunk seagull noises, and blurrily looks at you.
Thank you for your hospitality, Gilu, and letting us come with you to rest. I was wondering, do you need this barrel of Skursling stuff?
It depends on your definition of need. I don't think anyone really needs to drink, but we want to.
That's fair. I only ask because, like I said, I'm trying to gather supplies for my rather poorly off home district. And I thought maybe this barrel would be a good start.
So you want to take the barrel of the Skursling stuff?
If that would be amenable, I wouldn't want to take it without your permission.
Oh, why don't you roll me a charm roll, and I'll tell you how convinced I am by this.
Oh no. Okay.
And no modifiers.
I fail.
No, I'm afraid.
You want to re-roll it, Elf?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, okay.
I do get misfortune points for your use of fortune point uses.
Yes.
By the way, I should remind you of that because I wasn't maybe saying that when that happened. So I currently have two of them, which can do exactly what yours do. So he's like, oh well, no, I think we've still got a bit more to partying to do. You know, it's the off season. There's not much to do, and if we give you away our Skursling juice, well, you know, what are we gonna drink? So, tell you what, if you bring me back Skurslings that you killed, I could butcher them for you. We can make you your own batch stuff.
Well, that seems fair. What do you think? Looking to Etienne and Erdica.
Etienne nods.
More than happy
Seems-
to.
Yeah, seems fair.
Well, all right. We'll go and try and find them, I suppose.
All right, and he passes out.
All right, onwards.
So to get back to where you were going, if that is your plan, you could tell him
I
anything you want.
I guess that's the plan.
You're gonna go try and find the now somewhat less fresh.
Well, that's
although
okay.
one of them was still alive, so
Oh God.
It's very fresh.
I'm sure Gilly will be impressed. So I guess navigation roll.
I guess the delicious part of the Skursling has got to be the brain.
Yeah, it's gotta be like
right?
the inside.
Because it's mostly
Yeah.
a skull.
All right. Let's see here. Navigation. I do not navigate us very well. As usual, I fuck it up royally, even though I have the
And-
skill.
And
Stealth
I
doesn't
also
work.
failed.
And
stealth.
we also failed the stealth roll.
Sorry.
Hi, Bumpers.
Hello. So, what was I saying before I got cut off?
He passed out, and that's where we were at. And then
Okay, so yeah, okay, so he passed out. I was going to say you make a scrutinize roll.
Oh, you want to
and-
scrutinize roll? Okay.
first.
I
to
was-
see if you can remember.
I was just doing. I make the scrutinize roll.
Yeah. So, but Erdica can help if she has scrutinize, she can help, or she can roll and you can help if you have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Elf made it anyway.
do
I think.
not
Do we all have
scrutinize.
scrutinize?
I don't.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do.
So this is to remember. So you successfully
have it.
remember like the winding route back. So I won't make you make a navigation roll for
Okay.
that part because you succeeded your scrutinize roll. The stealth roll, however, we'll
Yeah.
keep that in mind for random encounters, which brings me back to roll me a D100, please.
A D100.
Yeah.
53.
53 Skurslings.
So where is my old table? Because I should have been checking this before.
53 Skurslings might be too many.
Maybe they're just football-sized ones. It's the do you want to fight 100 duck-sized horses or 100 or
Oh,
one
yeah.
horse-sized duck thing?
Okay. Why don't you just roll me a D8 now?
Okay.
Okay, so you find along your way a landmark.
Ooh.
I love landmarks.
So the way landmarks work is it's basically the mechanic for like discovery of a hex, as I sort of described a little earlier in the session.
Yeah.
If you want to come up with your own, like, because you found this, you can decide what it looks like, or I can determine that randomly sort of on my own. But this is essentially a progress towards unlocking the hexes from the outside, like recognizing it.
Recognizing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have any particular thoughts for what it could be?
Now, if I could just find.
Well,
my
I
table
mean,
for you.
the off-season arena, the Skursball arena, would be an easy landmark.
Skursball Arena is not available. These are like like statues and like weird buildings, stuff like that, right?
Oh,
These
okay.
aren't special locations that are of value for like a Scursball Arena is an actual place.
It's a
that you can
mechanical
visit.
No,
thing.
okay, well
Um,
maybe it's the statue of shrimp chocolate or whatever, you know? like a monument to one of the players, you know?
A statue to a famous deceased player
So
Yeah.
it's
or a famous living player.
we'll call it. It's a monument. Yeah, a monument. There's no name plate.
No,
it's a
of
statue
course.
to the
I
unknown
was going to say you
Scursball player.
could have named the player
the
Vanity and
the
then-
unknown Scursball
Like-
player.
Like one
Yeah,
of those
it's-
dwarf fortress sculptures.
Yeah.
Like he's being
Yes.
he's being eaten by a Skursling.
That is
Screaming.
see if I had the like wherewithal to make a real random table of that nature, like Dwarf Fortress style random table, that would be perfect. That's the perfect tone of like random landmark kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think a statue of a Scursball,
It is
and I'll
Yeah.
basically
Statue of a
note that
Scursball
you've
player.
got the unknown Scursball player. So this is a guy. He looks like imagine an American football player, but fantasy.
Yeah.
You know, Blood Bowl kind of style. He's got in his hand. He's holding a skull with like legs aloft, like in one arm, like victorious kind of pose, like yeah, I scored the Scursball, or whatever
Hell
it means, right?
yeah.
And I'll note that off on the other page that you've got a landmark for this place. And this is a benefit of basically rolling well on your scrutinize and then on the random table. Like it's a good thing sometimes when you randomly
I
encounter
love
stuff.
randomly
Yeah.
encountering things.
But yeah, I mean that's so.
So we make our way
So-
back to our Skursling corpses. Excuse me.
Sorry, I was noting down stuff. On
Oh, it's
board.
all good.
I have to type, and I push to talk, so of course I can't talk. While I'm typing. So you walk past the statue, you get to the street where the skurs, whatever they're called, Skurslings.
Yeah.
And I should probably have made a new map so that I didn't have to, because I reuse the same map.
No,
of
it's
course.
cool.
But I think here we have just the same stuff as before. So like you're out here right now.
Yeah.
I'm just moving your tokens, and then I'll add the skulls back in. But the skulls are sort of irrelevant because they're just decomposing. Well, one's still alive, but they're decomposing skulls out here.
Have they already started like visibly decomposing after just like I don't know?
So
10 hours
one of
or
them,
however
one
much
of them
you
is
travel?
has leaked out all its Skurs juice
Ugh.
or whatever.
Yeah,
you
but
wanna
we
call
have an
it.
ultra fresh, not even dead
This is true.
Skursling.
Like there's a big puddle here of Skursball.
If that Skursling is still alive after like 6 hours plus like however many hours it took to walk to the thing, plus however many hours it took to walk back, like man, that's inhumane.
Whatever. It's a
Well,
Skursling. It's basically a
it's
it's basically a football.
yeah. This is the dead one. This here is the dead one with the axe, and the other one is still technically alive. And you can
Hey, question for both of you. Which one was the one that got me?
The one that is not
Oh, it's the one that's
bled.
still alive.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we don't know it's alive in character, but
Well-
it is this one. You pointed
yeah,
that
it's
one.
the one on the right.
Cool. Etienne walks up to it with his axe and just overhead swings the axe down at it.
So make me an attack roll.
Can we
Okay.
be like, wait, it looks fresh?
That is up. That is up to you.
If
Between
you want to,
players.
you can try and stop me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold
Wait, this one looks
uh,
fresher.
Hold on, Etienne. It could be more valuable. Like,
The juice still inside.
Etienne pauses with the axe swung halfway over his head, looks back at the two of you and kind of sighs and puts down the axe.
We can desecrate it later.
I'll hold you to that. And then I think Etienne instead just starts to figure out, right, well, how are we going to move the bloody thing?
We could roll it. Can we? Can we?
I
You
mean,
can try.
It's roughly circular.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can lift Etienne, surely you can lift a skull leg thing.
Now these are very awkward to carry. Like I would say, it would be difficult for one person to carry because it's you'd have to get your arms around it, and it's a skull the size of a
Yeah.
person, so it's like
You-
holding a refrigerator kind of
We
thing.
could carry it together, Utica.
yeah. Yeah, humans are basically sticks, but like that's like a
Yeah.
triple size beach ball.
Yeah, humans are sacks of blood, and this is a like a metal container of blood. And
Yeah.
I think its legs are twitching. That's how you can tell it's still alive, right? This one's leg like twitches occasionally, like in a jerky motion.
Uh-huh.
Jerky
Yeah.
because it's meat.
I think because Urtica's got a encumbrance threshold of 12 and I've got one of 10, so I think between us
Yeah,
we should be able to lift it
and
without
I will
too
count
much
you as
issue.
encumbered for the purposes of initiative. Should you be, because you're carrying something.
Yeah, of
Again,
course.
that's
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
it'll be
how
very,
the
very
rules work.
awkward.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to you'd lose out on combat encounters, but movement wise, I think you can move at the same pace.
Okay, well, I think we leave the rotten one and we take this one and bring it back to Gilu.
And again, these don't smell rotten; these smell delicious. Like, you could really go for like a just chomp on that meaty leg,
Well, well, we can't carry two of them, so. The fresher, the better.
Yeah, I think Etienne
Fresh produce.
nods to the fresh one and says, God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stomach eating this, but
Well,
suppose
I
it's
mean,
better than
you don't
starving to death.
you don't have to. If we get Gilu to make us butcher it up for us, then we can take it back to the home district and they'll be happy about it. They don't know the origin of skull, ball, skurs, leg thing.
Yeah, Etienne nods and says, I was more thinking about how long it'll take us to get back. Because if we get a whole one of these worth of meat, it's still going to weigh us down quite a bit. Maybe we should keep an eye out for a hand cart or something. Hand carts exist in this world, I'm assuming?
Yes, yeah. Any kind
Wheelbarrows?
of carriages exist, like
A
sort
barrel
of.
can also be rolled.
What? Oh, yes, that was in character.
Yes.
Okay.
Semi.
Of course, we'll keep an eye out.
So you are trying to lift them, not rolling them. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I think me and Urtica are going to try and to me to you it. I hold it from one side, she holds it from the other, and kind of lift that way.
And Alora
so-
is unhelpful.
Well,
Well,
Alora can.
I think Alora can scout.
Yeah, Alora can make a stealth test, I think, to scout. And I don't make you make a navigation test because you've basically got the layout now. You figured out these streets are geometric.
All right, you want
They're
to
pretty easy to
you
navigate
you
once
want a stealth test? All right.
Yeah, this just represents your preparedness for random encounters, essentially.
I am prepared.
Okay, so you will be ready. And I secretly rolled this time because it's much more interesting, I think, if I don't let you know in on the results of D100 rolls for random encounters.
Indeed.
And you essentially get back easily. You use the same route. You found a landmark last time, so I think it's only fair to say that you cross by it again. You see the old statue of the unknown Scursball player, and you get back. I did say, you know what? I guess it's now in the middle of the night. Actually, I realized that I did say it was nighttime, didn't I? Oh well. Just imagine that the street lights are enough to get around by basically in the city, and that doesn't change anything else narratively, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nighttime, and thankfully, because I use the same map and I'm lazy, you can come right back to the old. We'll say you're here-ish, outside the door. I won't make you go in on your own unless you want to go in.
I go in to look for Gilu.
So Gilu hasn't moved, still unconscious, next to the barrel.
Hey,
because it's only been an hour, right?
Hey, Gilu. I poke Gilu a couple of times.
Gidu once again makes a bunch of weird noises that I'm not going to repeat.
We brought you a skursling.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, just like you said.
Only the one then.
Well, the other one, all the juice came out.
Oh, that's a shame. But anyway, bring it in. Bring it in.
Or
Bring it in.
beckons the people lugging the skursling.
This one may well be still alive.
Alive, Scursling? Well, I never.
I can change that if you like.
Oh, we're going to need to, of course, because we're going to cut it into small pieces and then cook the pieces and then eat the pieces. And we're going to drain the juice into another barrel.
Is there somewhere specific you want us to dispatch it?
While I rouse the crew, he walks over and starts slapping people. He gives this one a kick, the lady on the floor, kicks her awake, starts basically waking everyone up, and they all groggily get together. All right, slap it on the table. Hey everyone, we got a fresh, still alive Skursling here. Look busy. Flop it on the table.
Look busy.
So I assume you and Erdica,
Yeah.
sort of put it on the table, or
Yep.
Elora
Place it
watches.
somewhere convenient.
Elora watches the fascinating process of butchering a skursling.
so they sort of look between themselves. So, has anyone got the tools for such an endeavor?
Anyone got, say, a duck?
Certainly, if you'd like to borrow my. And she takes her dirk out and says, "It's not really for butchery, but it is sharp and it will cut things."
Probably drain it through the eye or the nose.
So that looks perfectly acceptable for poking the Skursling. But yeah, let me have it. He takes it from you. I will preside then, I suppose, as I am Gilyu.
You certainly are.
Yeah, that's my name. And he steps onto the table and walks over to the skull, and he takes the knife. He says, "All right, everybody, get ready." And all the people around open their mouths and sort of expectantly.
As soon as they do that, Etienne takes several steps back.
Okay, does anyone else do anything? Do Erdica or Elora move at all?
Nope.
Elora is cautiously only one step back.
Okay, so everyone else closes their eyes. I think Gilly probably stands sort of here-ish, so that he doesn't obstruct the whatever is about to happen from happening.
So that
And he
narratively it can hit Ertica.
Yes, and also the person behind where he
Yeah.
was standing. So he takes the dirk up in two hands, and he says, "All right, wish me luck, eh?" And I'm gonna roll. Ooh, a sound strike. So he strikes it right on top of the head, right?
I wish him luck.
It worked because he hit. So the skull, you hear a sick sort of stabbing sound. I don't actually know what getting stabbed sounds like. I'm told it's like a wet noise. So you hear a wet stabbing noise, and the Skursling's eyes sort of blink, if they could blink. You hear a noise, I guess, and its mouth tilts open, and it starts spinning in a rapid motion and spewing Skursling juice just everywhere, right?
Etienne is glad he stepped backwards.
So, would you like to dodge? Again,
Yes,
either,
definitely.
Elora
100%.
or Erdica. Etienne, you've moved out of fireball range.
Sure, I will dodge.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's just a coordination test to dodge.
Any modifiers because I stepped back further?
No, you're free, Etienne. You're out
Oh,
of
I'm free.
out of
Okay,
you're
sorry.
out of quote unquote.
I
liability.
do not dodge.
No.
Okay, so
Failure to
both of
dodge.
you are thoroughly coated. Were your mouths open? Did you open your mouths?
I mean, probably not.
Okay, so this thing gets stabbed in the top of the head. Its eyes blink. You hear a blinking noise, like a computer boot up noise of meat, and it starts spewing in a circle, just spins around spewing. Both of you are coated, completely coated, head to toe, in the same blood of the other Skurslings, right?
This
And there's
does not seem especially efficient.
and you've you probably say that, and everyone else is busy lapping up the juice that has landed on them, right? And for you, I mean, you did kill the other one, right? And you're sort of used to the smell by now, and like Etienne stank of it for the whole 6 hours of like
Yep.
downtime, basically. So it's the same stuff, except it's much fresher and like warm, right? Uh, there's no adverse effects to you. You didn't get any of it in your mouths, right? Didn't say you were opening
Just
your
a
mouth,
little
but
messy.
yeah, everyone else is really happy. They're like, ah, yeah, ah. And Gilyu pulls out the knife, and immediately the Skursling stops, its mouth closed, and the spewing stops, right? And then he basically goes about butchering it. He like tilts it on its side. He gets into the undercarriage of the skull, right, like where the legs come out, which would be where the spinal column is, sort of on a person. Except again, this skull is like football shaped, with the mouth. And he starts to essentially portion it out, and he seems quite adept at this, actually. Like, he's done this before quite clearly. This isn't like a fish person. I haven't ever actually taken drugs before situation. He knows what he's doing, and he's very carefully carving it out. And this takes however long it takes, several minutes. If you want to do anything, have a drink of fermented Skursball juice or whatever.
Nope.
And everyone else, all the other people are just sort of, watching and licking their lips essentially with the Skursball juice that has coated them.
Elora is busy noting down the appropriate way in which to butcher a Skursling.
Would you like to make me? Yeah, to record this process would be a roll of some kind.
All right.
If you want accurate information as to how to do this, right? I'm not sure what to make you roll other than tradecraft kind of thing.
Maybe
because she's like observing
education or survival?
No, I think survival definitely is what you should be rolling, because
All right.
that's like butchering animal stuff. And
Elora pays rapt attention, even
okay,
with
so
the juice
note that down.
all
You have
spread around.
noted in your notebook the process by which to correctly butcher a Skursling. And I think Gilyu probably sees you noting this down. And by the way, your book is a little damp. It's not ruined or anything. I'm not going to be mean like in that way. It's because it's probably in a book bag, but you have to clean off before you say. But he notices you taking notes, and it's like, oh, right, you want to learn how to do this, yeah. And he's like, the Skurs ball here is attached to the Skurs leg. The Skurs leg is attached to the Skurs foot.
Everything is Skurs the thing.
Yeah. And you want to keep the foot juice separate from the leg juice, because the Skurs juice collects in the feet, you see, and it doesn't get pumped back into the body correctly, so it's a bit less tasty. It's a bit more fermented. So you keep the foot separate. You don't want to tip it over, because otherwise you'll get the fermented juice into that. And he goes on to explain how like the foot must be cut separately and so on, right? So you got that now. You can note
that was
down.
Pretty good for just random stuff you were saying.
It's an actual medical thing, because like apparently if you sleep at night, you should keep your legs elevated slightly so that the blood in your feet can circulate. Like, it's an actual medical thing. I just used it to describe butchering a skull with legs.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's medical fact with Skurslings. So yeah, essentially you get some meat from this, and how much that is Let's see. Why don't I make him roll a roll? Though I did describe him doing it well, so I'll give him quite a good modifier. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
So you get 6 portions of Skursling meat. And he says, yeah, this is for you. And he's like prepared them. Maybe he even has wax paper or something, like whatever butchers would put.
He seems
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
kind of guy who would have supplies for keeping
Yeah,
Skursling meat. You know?
he's clearly an expert at butchering Skurslings, right? Anyway, he gives you the meat and he says, well, and we're going to get to keep the juice because that was the deal, right? You wanted the Skursling juice that we had in that barrel, and he motions over to the other barrel. We get the fresh juice from this Skursling, all right?
I look to my companions like,
How much is in that barrel? Etienne like goes over and does that thing where you kind of like lift one corner of it to like see how much liquid is still inside.
So it sloshes around. Why don't you make me a awareness, I guess, test?
Okie. Any modifier?
Nope.
I am not very aware.
So it's a glass half full, half empty kind of situation.
Okay.
You don't know which is which, even though technically that's the same thing. You can't tell how much is left.
Yeah, but there isn't. It's not completely empty. Is what I
No,
was
no.
basically
There's
trying to
enough.
ascertain.
Like there's enough that it still comes out when you open it and
And
so on. Like,
how like is this like actually to scale on the map, or is this like a small kind of like,
I would
is it
say
a keg I could hold on my shoulder, or is it a
it's a
keg that
big.
would have
It's a
to
big
roll?
barrel. Like
Okay.
it's the size. It's
Oh.
enough. Basically enough for one Skursling's worth of juice,
Yeah.
essentially, and that's sort of a person-sized amount of blood. I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, actually, it's a lot more than a person's worth of blood. Like you get the impression that the display of the spraying like was actually just sort of like let's like tap the keg real quick and then there's more like inside the Skursling. So
yeah.
it seems like the juice is stored somewhere separate from the legs. Is because Alora, you were observing quite carefully. There's obviously some separate like bladder or something.
The gland in there.
Yeah. I mean, you could assume that its brain might be full of juice and that you're drinking brain juice.
Juice.
Tasty.
So yeah, the barrel is quite full. And that's basically
Okay,
I think where we should
alright.
end it, I guess. Because
Well,
we
one
have to
thing I was
end
going to
early.
ask, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
One thing for the end. Etienne just quickly asked Gilliu if they have any sort of like keg trolley, like a thing for like lifting it and wheeling it, because they must have got it in here somehow.
We use the ancient method of roly-poly.
Etienne kind of just sighs and nods. All right then.
That's
That's all.
actually how you transport Skurzlings. Well, I noticed you were carrying the thing. You could just roll them, you know.
Etienne nods. We'll bear that in mind for the future. Also, by the way, I should comment on your accent. It's lovely.
I'll keep forgetting what accent I'm actually doing for these characters. But yeah, thank you very
Quite similar
much.
to mine.
You just do a football hooligan accent. You're good.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it might be too much like Etienne's. I don't.
No,
No,
it's
it's
the
fine. No,
same.
it's fine. It's good.
I was
When
like,
two
that's
when
all I
two
wanted to ask.
characters who are voiced by the same voice actor talk,
Yeah.
well, like,
Wow, you have a
I also
lovely
try-
voice. Wow, thank you.
I tried to
Spider-Man
do the
pointing at Spider-Man.
different characters also having different accents, but then I sort of failed, and they're all very drunk. So I was like,
Oh yeah, ogres, whatever. It sounds a lot like the
Anyway,
voice I
yeah.
use for ogres. That's my ogre voice, really.
And again, this is a seagull person. Don't think it actually like my
Yeah,
voices will
they're a
never
seagull,
factor
they're-
into like what they
Yeah.
actually look like. So yeah, but
They're a very
I think
drunken seagull.
yeah, that's basically what we're end.
Yeah, that
that's
sounds
what I
good.
wanted to
We can-
clarify.
We can
So,
definitely do that. We have to end a little early because I have to get on a plane. So let's do shout outs before we leave. Let's
Experience, corruption points.
experience corruption.
Oh yes. So corruption points. I think Etienne, you take some deal of corruption for dying. Essentially, I'll give you
Nice.
6,
Okay.
6 points
So I'm up to
for
7.
death, because technically, like, it's a whole situation with the injury and stuff. Like, I think that'll be the cost, right?
Yeah, that's fair
You'll take an injury's worth of corruption. We'll call that. And you have a drawback, I believe, not a drawback, a complication in your backstory that meant that you take more corruption from injuries, or is it stress and fear?
It's stress and fear.
Yeah, stress and fear. So yeah, we'll call it 6, right? So it's not, that doesn't affect it, but yeah. And everyone else, none of you drank any of the Skursling fluid, right?
Well, elf.
I mean, I kinda
She
did.
tasted it, but that
finger
wasn't
in it, yeah.
that wasn't enough to like
Yeah.
imbibe. That wasn't imbibe. Like, I wouldn't call that, if you take a sip of wine kind of thing.
Look,
it
I
won't,
did
make you
smoke the
drunk.
drugs, but I did not inhale.
Yeah.
Yes. So no one else takes any other corruption. Killing Skurslings is not morally objectionable.
It's not morally
Thank
objectionable.
It was like a survival kind of thing. So
Yeah.
no corruption for that. Experience, you all get 100 experience because
Yay.
you face dangerous dangers in the city, and so that's that. What else is there to do? So yeah, like we decided, we won't roll on corruption until you get back to the home base. That's how we're
Correct,
doing
yeah.
it. So Etienne, you're probably gonna
Storing it all up.
be in danger of getting a chaos rank at this point. But other than that, I think that's all the stuff. Thank you, Ink, for reminding me to actually do experience on stream and so on. But that's it. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's do shoutouts. Butt Prince, you go first.
I am Butt Prince. You can find me here doing this every week at this time, and you can find me on Twitter at Buttopian.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ink.
I am Ink Corvid, they, them. You can find me on Twitter at Incorvid. The City is the End at this time. And next week, on the 17th, Blades in the Dark.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hell
Yes, we
yeah.
have a Blades in the Dark game on the 17th, starting at 5 p.m. PST, I believe is when we said we were going to run it. So it's going to be a little later in the day, obviously, than this. Okay, Jeevesy?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jeevesy, they or he pronouns. You can find me at Jeevespun on Twitter, or at Bookstrek on Twitter, where I'm currently reading a really good Star Trek Voyager novel, and I love it because it's not terrible.
Yay, not terrible. And I am Distracted Elf. You can find me here at twitch.tv/DistractedElf, where we are, or on Twitter at DistractedElf. I do a bunch of games and tabletop stuff, though I won't be around for the next little while because I gotta go to a friend's, or my partner's brother's wedding. So that'll be fun. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by and watching The City is the End, episode 5. Wahaha.